You ain't black.
And you ain't black.
So if you were a police officer and you happen upon a knife-wielding lunatic, what would you do? I mean, this chick was straight up Michael Myers on us, right? I mean, I would have emptied at least 2 in her myself.
Oh wait, Lucas.
What would you have done?
Absolutely.
Literally, I mean, the picture I saw looked like a still shot from a horror movie.
Come on now.
I mean, come
Right?
on.
Was this the movie Psycho? I mean,
Literally, that's what it was.
I mean, come on. This is ridiculous that the media and the general public has jumped on the defense of a person that is about to commit murder.
Thank you.
Okay, they jumped at the defense of that. Never mind the cop that just saved a young black woman's life.
And never mind the young girl who was terrified, hurled against the car, defending herself against her life. Never mind her, right?
Never mind that.
Because if non-lethal force would have been used, how do we know that a taser would have stopped the stabbing motion that was already in place?
Thank you.
We don't know.
You know the craziest part about this is I had a friend, you just reminded me of this, but I had a friend who applied to be in the Burbank PD and he failed the interview because they sat him down and they said, we're going to tell you the following scenario. What would you do? Give us your first answer. And he said, there's a tall man approaching a woman who is in a defensive position with a knife in a downward stabbing motion. What do you do in that moment?
Light him up.
And literally he said, well, I think, and they said, you got the answer wrong. And they said, you got the answer wrong. He says, at that point, he's already showed aggression with lethal force with a lethal weapon, at which point you are justified in using lethal force.
A knife is a deadly weapon. That's the same as a machete.
Thank you.
I mean, come on.
Well, not quite the same as a machete. There's about an 18-inch difference.
But have you seen, how many episodes of Forensic Files have you seen where people have been bludgeoned?
Okay, so
Files coming in clutch.
So I'm sure everybody's already seen the video, right? The video in which that a 16-year-old girl comes out of the house and wants to stab another woman, and a police officer that's trained as a marksman, prior experience, used lethal force, used 4 rounds to what do you call it? Eliminate the threat.
Marksman shooting.
Yes.
Marksman shooting. Hit center mass, and we are actually in the news talking about how this is wrong.
Yeah.
No.
So I'm going to go ahead and say this, like I've said it multiple times. Orwellian future, where somebody does his job and he is ridiculed for doing his job.
That officer is a hero. Literally, he's a hero.
Well, have you seen what people have been saying to all these cops that's been going around since then?
I mean,
before you do that, I just want to say LeBron James literally threw this guy under the bus. He had a tweet out saying, "You're next." And this man literally just did his job. And again, Orwellian future.
Isn't it funny that he's saying you're next, #accountability? Okay, if we're gonna say #accountability, why can't we say that when it comes to these criminals? Okay, let's hold these criminals accountable.
But why do we say that about every single freaking Democrat that's been running all of these urban environments and all black communities where they've just gone to hell in a handbasket and been that way for 50 years?
Yeah.
Detroit hasn't had a Republican mayor since 1964.
But yet still it's our fault.
Well, I'll tell you why we don't talk about that, because that goes into the whole regime of what they want, right? It's kind of like a form of manipulation, right?
Oh, 100%.
So here we have, they're manipulating black versus white and make everything racial. So it almost incites it, right? Because you have more and more black people having a disrespectful attitude toward the police. And not only that, it's a narrative that black people can do crimes without, not with impunity, but without getting shot, even in normal circumstances where anybody would get shot.
And this is giving,
anybody would have gotten shot.
This is giving Black America a bad name because
It's
it's on both sides. So in instance, we do have struggles and do have an opportunity. But the media lights it up and says, look we're not only are we committing a lot of these crimes, which shows a bad light, right? But also we need to acknowledge it. But at the same time, it also shows that, you know what, you could do whatever you want. You can get away from crime. And it's just a catch-22 where it's like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
And with the manipulation, the corrupt media, when you see the pictures that they show her, right? They show a smiling teenage picture, like her school yearbook picture.
Yeah.
I don't know what type of person she was. We don't know. What we know in that moment.
Oh, they always show the nice, beautiful picture.
Right.
But you know darn well, they show the beautiful picture of someone that commits a crime. But if they're a Trump supporter, best believe they're going to be showing up a picture of them half out the shower with their hair all messed up, just woke up, straight out of bed. Yeah.
See, I really can't stand the fact that they're uplifting criminality. right? And this is what they've been doing. The Democrat Party has been doing this on a consistent basis. They've been uplifting criminality and downplaying and denigrating the police, law and order. They're denigrating law and order and uplifting criminality. Orwellian future, like you've been saying.
It really is.
Come on now.
It really
this is what's going on.
Well, to jump on top of that too, I got to point out the fact that, it's sad that the value of life was not valued with these two girls because I don't know the whole story, but there's reports out there that apparently her family wanted to make her clean up parts of the house that she didn't want to clean up. And we don't know the relationship between these people, do we? Like, were they related? Or
from what I understand, she was in the foster system.
Okay.
Right.
So she just took her aggression out by not wanting to follow rules.
Right.
We need to let people know that this isn't okay, right? Where is the BLM trying to set a better example? This isn't okay. You don't take your frustrations out by stabbing somebody. Well, where's the repercussions of that?
I'd like to push back just a little bit on something Kick said, where you said, hey, I think this is giving the black community a bad name. I actually push back on that because I think now finally this, conservative white person versus Democrat black person dichotomy, this rural versus urban dichotomy is actually starting to wear away because of incidences like this one. I mean, what do you say to a young black man who is trying to, I don't know if cajole is the correct word, but make fun of a black cop, and then the black cop claps back with the funny conservative answer? I mean, I actually think the black community itself is sifting through this philosophical garbage bin,
let me
right?
ask you all this. If you were a police officer, would you want to patrol a black neighborhood where the crime rates are high?
100%.
When you know if you do your job, you're going to be...
no.
Would you want to patrol that area when you know even if you do your job and just stop a crime by helping and saving a life, that you're going to be prosecuted as a white supremacist? Or
and it's sad too because they're doing it in certain areas, like within LA. They're trying to go back in their history and pull up old cases. So now the police don't even want to do their job, which makes it even worse. So again, it's not only making a black America,
because they're going to get what they want.
Not only are they.
Sorry, but because I feel like we all know that the less police you have in a community, the more crime you have, right? So if you have less police officers patrolling an area, the more crime is going to increase.
Dude, defunding the police is a white supremacist dream.
Really? You better believe it.
Thank you.
You better believe it.
Let's get to the clip.
Okay, this clip is freaking hilarious, and this is what all the cops should say when somebody comes at them like this.
Love it.
Oh, y'all gonna kill me like Ma'Khia Bryant?
Are you gonna stab somebody like her?
No, but she called y'all for help.
Got him.
He literally says, "Are you gonna?" Oh man,
ridiculous.
That was rough.
That's
that
how
was
you
rough.
do it.
And she didn't call for help. That's a false narrative. Someone else called.
And you know what?
Knife-wielding lunatic.
And you know what? The how funny it is that remark is actually symbolizing the truth. It's common sense. Don't wield a knife, and you won't get shot.
Thank you.
How about that for an idea?
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
That's why he made it so funny. Because he's like,
it shouldn't be
come
that
on.
difficult to put a concept around.
It's not. It's really
actually,
not.
when you think about it on a mind manipulation point of way,
I don't kill people. I don't.
They're
I don't
doing
wield
a great
knives.
job though,
I don't do
because
that.
they're getting more and more what they want, and yet they're getting black people who are acting on emotions to
exactly.
willingly
Facts.
support their own agenda.
Facts.
I mean, it's the craziness of this world. I mean, in speaking of craziness of the world, daggone it, what is going on with this daggone Chauvin trial that is now ended with a guilty verdict?
Guilty with 3 charges.
On all three charges.
Now, do you all feel that was that there was some type of pressure involved
100%.
just to save the country from being burnt to the ground by BLM?
Well, let me say this. First and foremost, the president of the United States spoke on an active trial. Maxine Waters made active threats, basically the tantamount to active threats.
Flew over states.
Come on now, where you going, Maxine? You know,
she know where she going.
Pelosi runs defense for Maxine Waters. Then the people, the rest of the leftists in office run defense for Nancy Pelosi, who runs defense for Maxine Waters.
Yeah.
And everyone's putting this pressure. The ultimate tag team. It's like a Royal Rumble, you know? And here we are in a situation where the jury has so much pressure on their backs to make sure that this is going to be a guilty verdict, because if they don't, they know their city will burn.
It's like Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy. I mean, the tag team is unreal. But sorry, I had to go back to
Let's go.
WWF.
Let's go.
Well, we also have to point this out, just because I am the pathetic comedic relief in this show. You just brought something to my attention I'd never thought of before. But if you
they're the same with different colors.
Yeah, exactly.
They're sisters from another mother.
Look at this image search. Look at this picture of they have the exact same hair.
Doppelgangers right there.
And they have the same like
the
permanent
same pearl
style.
earrings, the same everything. These two ladies.
Yeah.
They're sisters from another mother.
No, they're sisters from another mister.
Mister
Brothers
or mother?
from another mother. No, it's brother from another mother, sister from another mister. Right?
Okay, got it.
Aren't they just beautiful?
So sorry. Keep saying what you were saying. I'm sorry there. I'm sorry. I had to point that out.
That is Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy at its finest.
Wow.
They are ready to take on The Undertaker, The Rock, all at once.
Okay, so wait, and so just to be clear too, because I've been hearing some people say, "Oh, like he should have got first degree. He should have got first degree."
Yeah, let's get into the case.
Because first degree has to prove the intent. So we already knew from the jump that he wasn't going to get first degree.
Absolutely not.
The actual charges that he got charged for and convicted of second degree murder, third degree murder, and second degree manslaughter.
Oh, sheesh.
So now people are awaiting what the actual sentence will be. What do you guys think?
So now I've heard this from the other side, and there's some people on our side on the right also say, and they make a very good, valid point. They say that we keep talking about us on the right. We say law and order, believe in the process, due process. And every time, when it came to Breonna Taylor or different cases, when it always favored towards people that believed what the notion of a reality was correct, according to the court's decision, that we were like, oh, yes, that's what we perceived as reality. Now that us on the right don't agree with this perceived reality, a lot of us on the right are saying, well, it was pressured. So we kind of have to go both sides, where it's like, okay, we don't want to be hypocrites when we always say law and order, respect the due process. But yeah, we can agree that the jurors were doxxed by news entities. Maxine Waters literally is exciting violence, and if we don't get what we want, and come to think of it, the jurors are people of their peers, correct?
Yes.
Peers in their community, right?
Yes.
People in the community that were there, that lived in the community where it was burned and looted, or the people that were there in the community because they believe in the BLM narrative with George Floyd. And at that, I mean, in essence, you can see it was skewed.
Well, have you guys seen there was also Pelosi and I think Don Lemon as well. They were literally thanking George Floyd for giving his life. It was such a mockery and pandering a moment where they're thanking a dead man for being a martyr when he wasn't a martyr.
When I pray at night, I say, "Dear Lord, thank you for giving your life on the cross for us, us sinners." They're pretty much treating George Floyd like he's Jesus Christ.
This is sickening. They're literally saying like, "Thank you."
Oh yeah, did you see that? It was saying the Saint George Floyd.
He's canonized.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, that's blasphemy.
Yeah, that was bad. No, they called him was it Saint? Was it a saint?
He's a saint now. He's Saint George Floyd.
Yeah, I saw that. That's ridiculous. And you know what? Candace Owens said a valid point, and I like this. What she said. She said, "I would love to score an interview with the woman that George Floyd attacked."
Thank you.
Let's see if he's.
There are actual portraits of him portrayed as the saint.
Let's see the woman that got attacked.
You know what?
Let's talk to her.
Let's talk to her. Let's see what she thinks.
I'm sick of seeing his face.
I really am.
I'm gonna just say it. If I see that face one more time.
Oh, also another thing too. If you think about it. Yeah, he's shocked.
Just get away. I mean,
he said, "Just get away."
Change the screen. I mean, and let's be real. It's not even a pleasant face to look at. It looked like he's scowling you down.
Didn't Maxine Waters, Pelosi said that, and quote me. I mean, don't quote me on this, but I forget who said this. Someone said that George Floyd is the face of justice.
Was
it Pelosi?
The face of justice.
Or something about...
Was it Pelosi that said that?
Well, oh my gosh, these people.
They're trying to make it seem like everything rests on the case of George Floyd. What they say, tried to say that America's on trial.
The face of justice?
America's on trial because of what happened with George Floyd. No, America's not on trial. Derek Chauvin's on trial. That's the way this works.
I'm gonna say something that's gonna trigger people.
Trigger them, man.
If George Floyd is the face of justice, then I'm gonna go ahead and rebuttal. The cop that unfortunately killed a 16-year-old woman with precision, under pressure, 4 shots, and saved a black woman's life.
Let's go.
He is the face.
Let's go.
Of justice. I know that's going to be triggering. I'm going to get a lot of heat for that. But if you guys want to play that game, we'll play that game.
Yeah. The Biggie song, "You're Nobody Till Somebody Kills You."
That's it.
Because literally, I mean, this guy, George Floyd, now, he had his problems like any other human does.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We're not here to judge him on his drug use or anything like that.
110%.
But the fact is the fact. He has spent a greater part of his adult life terrorizing the community that Black Lives Matter tries to say they care about.
Right.
So don't put this man in front of my face and tell me that he's a martyr. Don't put his face on a mural, on a building. Don't put a halo around his head.
You got it.
Just say your prayers. Just say your prayers for a loss of life and move on.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
this is not
Speaking of prayers, hold on a second.
Speaking of
prayers, there's much better prayers you can say right now.
Apparently.
In fact, check this one out. This one blew my mind. Mercer U theology professor's prayer. She literally said, "Dear God, please help me to hate white people." I confess, at first I thought, is this just Breitbart clickbait? Like, is this just racial stoking? So I continued my internet research and check this out.
Oh boy.
Target is indeed selling the book as of Saturday as a devotional in Target. And look what the book actually says. When you click on this, it says, "Please help me to hate white people, or at least to want to hate them." And it goes even farther. This last one blew my mind. Said, quote, "Free me from this burden of calling them to confession and repentance. Grant me a get out of judgment free card. If I can make white people the exception to your commandment to love our neighbors as we love ourselves."
Look, Jesus, I know you said love my neighbor as myself, but get me this get out of jail free card when it comes to this, because I don't want to like white people.
But the fact that you have a major corporation like Target, right? I have a Target card, by the way. So the fact that you have a major corporation like Target supporting this, isn't that the exact same of how, but this is the same type of corporations that were taking away Dr. Seuss books.
Right.
But you want to put a book in there that's literally promoting the killing of white people. But not even guilty white people, just random white people, right? And Carden, the quote that you were mentioning in the beginning, that's important because if I'm not mistaken, that's the opening passage. And this woman's name is Walker Burns. It says, "Dear God, please help me to hate white people, or at least to want to hate them. At least I want to stop caring about them, individually and collectively. I want to stop caring about their misguided, racist souls, to stop believing that they can be better. To stop believing that they can be better, that they can stop being racist."
That sounds racist. That sounds racist.
So that's literally saying that every white person is innately a misguided, racist soul.
Well, can we just do this alternate universe where we swap out all the white for black?
And see
if that would stay.
Is that racist? Is that okay?
I think that would be kind of racist.
Well, isn't that the same as saying like for the misguided, brute, criminal soul of black people? That's the same type of narrative.
Well, and
how
also,
is that okay?
Can we just really quickly? I don't even have to pull up the YouTube video, but that flies directly in the face of the speech that launched the civil rights movement.
Come on now.
What did Martin Luther get? We all had to memorize it in elementary school. That man should not be judged by the what?
Content, by
the color of his skin, but the content of his character.
Exactly.
And then now, in the name of civil rights, we are praying to God to bless us, to judge people
based on the color.
Based on the color of their skin.
for their skin.
Like
literally.
this is beyond absolute doublethink, and it gets worse because this is where it goes.
This is woke nation, though.
This is woke nation.
But is it woke? Because this is the final, this is where it rests. Like back in the 90s, everybody always would make these slippery slope arguments, and everybody would joke around saying, oh, it's just the rednecks that talk about the slippery slope of gay marriage, the slippery slope of civil rights, the slippery slope of, oh, what are you? What do you want? Well, this is where the slippery slope ends up. And
better
listen,
believe it.
Listen to what BLM protesters are literally saying,
Yes.
all right, at some of these protests. I could not believe it.
I don't want to say we need to go start killing all white folks, but it's like, but maybe they need to feel the pain and the hurt that all the minority people have felt for years.
What pain? Wait. It's a lot to break down. What pain of what minorities for what years is she referring to? Because I can't tell, but looking at her, I can't tell if she's black or not, but I didn't feel any pain.
Don't judge us light-skinned people. Don't judge us light-skinned folk. Don't judge us light-skinned folk. Don't judge us yellow bones.
Don't judge me.
Shoot.
She's speaking on behalf of every minority person. She don't know what pain we go through.
Not at all. Not at all. But it's mere conjecture when it comes to people like this. All the pain that they've gone through. She hasn't gone through any pain. No pain whatsoever. But yet and still, she wants to go ahead and say that, yeah, we should kill white people to just have them feel our pain.
Well, and this is my problem with it, just because I wouldn't go so far as to say like, oh, you haven't experienced pain. Who knows? Maybe she's a mother that had a horrible miscarriage. Maybe she was abused as a child. Who knows?
Right.
Maybe her lived experience actually has had horrible pain in it.
Right.
But how just out in the open in 2021,
Is that okay?
can you say maybe the solution is actually just targeted genocide against people based upon skin color?
Because isn't that the exact same thing, Carden? Isn't that the exact same thing? Let's say, for example, if a white person had a black guy knock their grandmother over the head and kill her, and then that white person got on TV and said, I don't care. I just want to go out and kill every NIC.
Thank you.
Isn't that the exact same thing? I want them to feel the pain that I feel right now.
Thank you. There is no difference.
I have no rebuttal for your wisdom.
But actually,
disgusting.
But if you really get into that, the fact that she said that, Carden, is replica of kind of a black mentality, so to say, because in a lot of hoods, that is the mentality.
Yes.
When you do a drive-by shooting and you spray up the block and you kill somebody's grandmama, that pain isn't enough.
That's right.
They gonna go kill your grandmama.
That's
now.
right. That's right.
And then the cycle continues, and they want you to feel the pain that they felt.
It's a self-perpetuating cycle.
Sickness.
It's
a sickness.
Man. I can't stand it.
Well, and the worst part is, and then we get blamed for it. If you spray
white people get blamed. Right.
It doesn't matter what happens. It's your fault.
How long did
the
Stop
block
Asian
getting sprayed
Hate
up, you're
last?
gonna get-
Yes.
How long did that meme last until they started digging into the crime numbers and they started realizing, oh crap,
it's
we're
all the-
incriminating the African American community in the urban areas.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
That ended up being beyond ridiculous.
Yeah. No. So see. What you said about people in the hood and how they feel. The problem is that there's no connection between the two. Meaning, what reality or facts are on a more wide scale span on America
People in the hood
than the
live in
people
a
in the
fantasy.
hood. Exactly. Because again, it's lack of knowledge, and that's what it is.
Yes,
It's
sir.
lack of knowledge, and that brings the idiocy that we just saw.
You got it.
But people that are actually smart, right? Regardless of skin color,
Like
understand that we have bigger problems such as
Much bigger.
things like systematic racism, right? And that we are all subjugated towards oppression, right? And we're talking about a scientific dictatorship, and we have a clip right here of a woman, a mother that understands it.
Yes.
Yeah, I believe the term I've heard that I appreciate the most
this
is
is oppression,
medical tyranny. But
Medical tyranny,
Medical
110%.
tyranny.
That is the term.
And I don't know how you can respond to this with anything other than a broken heart. Here we go.
Not March 2020 anymore. We have 3 vaccines. Every adult in the state of Georgia that wants that vaccine is eligible to get it right now. And every one of us knows that young children are not affected by this virus.
Facts.
This is at the Gwinnett school board meeting, and she's advocating to take off the mask in Georgia off the children.
They're not. And that's a blessing. But as the adults, what have we done with that blessing? We've shoved it to the side and we've said, we don't care. You're still going to wear a mask on your face every day, 5 and 6 year olds. You still can't play together on the playground like normal children, 7 and 8 year olds. We don't care. We're still going to force you to carry a burden that was never yours to carry. Shame on us. It's April 15th, 2021, and it's time. Take these masks off of my child.
Dude, you can feel the frustration.
That's beast mode right there.
You can feel the frustration.
Yeah.
You can feel the frustration because I don't have children. I don't. But the way that society is.
You sure about that, brother?
There might be some. Hey,
a couple kicks.
I was raised. I know. Little kicks running around kicking stuff. Little kicks kicking stuff. They just walking around kicking stuff.
Kicking rocks, actually.
Kicking rocks, kicking balls, kicking everything. Soccer balls, basketballs. But no, I don't have children. But if I did, or if I was going to, I would be, because again, I was raised to not have kids under wedlock, by the way. So thank you very much.
Yeah, rock on.
Same here.
But it is very daunting to have children in this day and age.
Yeah.
The things that they have to go through. Now, I have a niece and nephew, and they're homeschooled right now because of what's going on. But to see her frustration and to know that we're living in a society where you have to possibly think about homeschooling your child. You might have to downsize your own living. You might have to, instead of 2 cars, have 1 car. Or if you have 2 stories, might have 1 story, so that you can actually have a actual foundation for your kids to be healthy, 1, socialize, 2, and get a proper education without the government intervening.
Dude, we had to take our kids out of the public school I went to. I moved into a neighborhood so that I could send my kids to the great elementary school and junior high school that I went to and that my mother taught at. And all of this critical race theory stuff has gotten so psycho. They have literally thrown around in the state legislature and at our local school district talk about having 7 and 11-year-olds write apology letters to the children of color in their classes for their racism, of a 7-year-old having to apologize for racial crimes he has not even committed.
Or his father, or his grandfather.
Or his father, or his,
What I saw out of that is that just because I'm a black child, I'm all of a sudden automatically a victim. No, thank you, Bob. I don't need your letter.
Right.
You can tell Miss Jackson I'm cool. I don't need that letter.
Sorry, Miss Jackson.
You know?
Ooh, I am for real.
But
never
I wanted to touch
we
on this
only
really
do
fast,
West
right?
Coast rap here.
I'm sorry.
But that's Atlanta, and we speaking of Georgia, so that was on point, actually.
That was ATL 2009.
Exactly.
I had to.
So Georgia, though, right? Because I feel like this is important. That's another notion of how it starts in the home. I feel like the family is the best first teaching. So we can't just throw our children out into the world, out into schools, and just think that they're going to get the best education.
Not anymore.
It starts in the home. So I feel that if the parents were to teach these kids or teach their kids what they know about the coronavirus and how safety matters and the science that makes sense no matter what Dr. Fauci says, then I feel like these kids wouldn't be affected. But like sheeple, these parents are just sending their kids to school with the mask on.
Well, and the sad part is they are allowing these kids to be part of world's largest medical experiment.
Oh,
I mean, this meme right here literally blows my mind.
I love this.
When you put what we're doing with mask mandates into the context of automotive repair, it makes no sense. There's imagine if literally a mechanic came to you and said, there's a 99% chance your engine will be fine, but we recommend you put in some experimental oil. They just might ruin the engine.
Yeah.
Well, and by the way, you can't drive it for 2 weeks after we've repaired it.
Right. Yeah, sorry about that.
I just saw a real life example of that. I was walking on Colorado Street in Pasadena, and on the corner, it was a 4-way cross street, completely empty, and I saw a family of 4, a mother, a father, and the daughter was about 6 and the son was about 3. They all had on masks completely up. And I felt bad for those kids.
Yeah.
I said, you're in the middle of outside walking down the block shopping, and a family of 4, it's just a family, nobody's even around you, and you have the mask fully up.
Oh, but you know what, Lucas? But you want to know what, Lucas? Because that may not make sense to you.
But that's indicative of the household that they're being raised in.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't even make sense.
But you shouldn't complain because they've done some extreme racial justice here in the meantime. You know what I'm saying? Because, we may be muzzling an entire nation, but look, they did get rid of the Indian squaw in Land of Lakes Butter.
Which is necessary, apparently.
So, technically, the Native American.
Yeah.
Yes. The Native American squaw.
Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Good job.
Good job, guys. Now mask up. Go out.
Now that we have that up, can anybody find anything offensive with that image? The fact that they say it's offensive, I'm offended because how is a beautiful face offensive?
Yeah, and the sad thing is we always talk about the importance of not erasing somebody's identity.
Yeah.
You know, and what... Let's celebrate our indigenous people's history. It's getting erased daily because it's getting welfare is destroying half these reservations. You have entire populations that are no longer learning their indigenous languages. When I was a language student at BYU, I actually volunteered briefly for I can't remember the name of the project, but it was called like the Indigenous Languages Project, because there's like 300 indigenous languages now that are in danger of being one generation away from no longer being spoken. We're talking tribal languages that lasted thousands of years in the North American continent. They're only spoken by indigenous people, whether it's derivatives of Aztec and Mayan speech or whether it's derivatives of Native American Plains Indian speech.
In Ireland as well. In Ireland, the Gaelic language, it's like an old language. It's still written on the public buses and everything, but nobody speaks it except for the older people. Young people, they still teach it in the schools, but nobody speaks it.
So here we are literally saying, how dare you erase my identity? By the way,
that's okay.
Putting my identity on a butter stick.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, from a marketing point of view, the butter looks boring now.
No, that is true. I mean, it looks boring as hell.
Goes down,
like that doesn't pop out on the shelf to me. Like I'm not buying that.
Yeah, it went from looking like an artisanal butter from Minnesota, the land of lakes,
that's what it looks like.
That you would buy, to now looking like the store version, like Kroger.
It looks like the dollar store version.
Well, they say
dollar store version.
Yeah, it looks like the dollar store version.
Get woke, go broke. Get woke, go broke. This is what's going on a consistent basis, man. You try to get woke, you try to showcase your benevolence, you try to virtue signal to your base, and you end up going broke.
You go broke.
So I really hope Lando Lake goes broke.
Yes.
Wait, but dude, you know what makes you not go broke? The opposite.
Grifter.
The opposite of get woke, go broke is Al Sharpton.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Can you zoom in? Like, can you zoom in? Like, I want to zoom in on the George Washington wig. Like 78 years old. He will not let it go. Dude, it's gone.
LIG, let it go.
Well,
let it go.
This is
golly.
Well,
he said George Washington wig on a black man.
Well, dude,
he's one of the founding fathers of like corruption, right?
No, he's the founding. No, Lucas. No, he is the founding father of the slave owners.
Yes.
Of the house Negro.
Yeah, yes.
well, dude,
indeed.
You alone are responsible for what you say on this show, brother.
He is the founding father of house Negroes.
Yes.
Dude, this is what bothers me.
Do you want me to tweet it? I'll tweet it.
A private jet.
I'll do it right now.
Well, you can get away with anything.
That's probably a cashmere coat.
Come on now.
Walking on a private jet.
Well, that's the thing is, I mean, this week we literally had the family of Breonna Taylor going to BLM Inc. saying, where's our money?
Right.
Because you used our face.
Facts.
And you've got George Floyd's family saying, okay, where's our money? You used our face. And this is where the money's going.
Right.
No,
there.
it went to...
that's a cashmere coat. That's a private jet.
Look at that jet. You better believe it.
The houses...
That ain't Spirit Airlines because he's raising money.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's funny because
I've
constantly, I'm sure all three of us at some point in time has been called a grifter. Oh, you're grifting. You're just grifting. Yeah,
I did. I organized what do you call it? Giving back to the homeless on a Thanksgiving, and I was it was
for helping homeless people.
You're a grifter. Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
It's not like continue. It's not like your Patrice Colors. You know.
Yeah. Hulk was about to say something.
But, I mean, here we are in a situation. I'm still, driving my beater. You understand? I'm still doing what I got to do. We still doing the same thing. Our financial status hasn't elevated.
You should never say beater. As big as you are.
I'm getting canceled right now, man.
Go ahead, continue. Sorry, I had to get you there.
It's sad because, look at this guy. He has been race hustling and race baiting since, what, the 80s?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this guy's in a private, he's filming himself, walking in slow motion like this is some type of action film, going to a private jet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, this is the ultimate idea of what it is to be a grifter.
Yeah.
Hulk, I understand. I understand, Hulk. You're mad that you're not on a private jet because you have to buy 3 plane tickets every time you fly.
I need the whole row. I need the whole row, man.
Sorry, I had to. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, it does. See, nobody mind. You guys, are you okay over there?
I had to get you. I had to get you.
Well, and the thing is, nobody in this studio right now cares if you make a lot of money because you do something well. If Kanye West posts himself walking to a private jet, who cares? We've all bought his album and liked it and gladly gave us our money.
Actually, I would care. We would be like, wait, what kind of sneakers are those again?
Yeah.
Look that new going on right now. Get that new. I need that.
So anybody but Kanye, though.
Yeah, this is, don't forget, this is a guy who constantly reminds you that he's Reverend Al Sharpton.
Oh, yes, sir.
Is he even a real reverend? I mean, well, you can get your
dude, I gotta tell you right now, whether he was asking for that money in the name of God or whether he was asking for that money in the name of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, it looks like there's a lot of money that didn't make it to George Floyd's family, a lot of money that didn't make it to Breonna Taylor's family,
speak on it,
and a lot of money that didn't make it to the hood that he said he was raising it for, because it all got put into that private jet, the cashmere quote, as Lucas says, the George Washington wig, you know what I'm saying, and his Atkins diet.
Listen.
Hey,
okay, listen. Everything you said is 100% correct, but I got to correct you on something. Buying a George Washington wig is expensive. It's custom made, and it's necessary. It's necessary
because he's in front of the camera. Like
exactly.
Said,
so
right?
he can do that. Everything else,
point.
no. But the George Washington wig with the black face, that's expensive. Okay. Just
well,
keep that
and the
out
thing
there.
is, the thing that's kind of concerned me about a lot of this is that we've all heard the phrase that if you're not cheating, you're not trying. But as large as big tech is now, it's starting to look like they can only win by cheating.
Yeah.
This came out, and this, as a YouTuber, this really concerned me. Yeah. Because now, if you actually look at this, they're altering the algorithms.
They are.
And they're trying to find ways to alter how you report the likes and the dislikes, if not take them away completely.
Oh, yeah, change the rules because they're losing.
And a lot of it was in reaction to what, Kick?
Right, because if you've noticed, everybody, they aren't doing this on episodes of Martin or episodes of like Frasier. Right. They're doing it on specific types of videos.
Oh, and you'll notice what those videos may be.
Now go back to me because he called on me. Goddammit.
Right.
Well,
it started from the White House page.
Yeah,
the White House page. There we go.
In reaction to the White House page,
this is the most unpopular the White House has ever been.
Absolutely.
Yeah, in reaction to Joe Biden being so unpopular that he's getting like 99% downvotes.
Even worse than Joe.
But Clark, what do you mean unpopular? He got 81 million votes. It's like he could have won prom king. I mean, come on.
Why you doing like that, Lucas? Why you doing like that?
But yet they got to censor. So they're basically censoring the likes on the White House page. Is that it, Nick?
No. They're censoring likes on YouTube. So that unpopular politicians of their flavor can have a disproportionate advantage.
Yeah. Look how nefarious this is.
Twilight Zone.
They are willing to change all of YouTube just to support their political ideologies.
Orwellian.
Man.
I'm just saying.
How terrible is this? How scary of a world are we in where they're willing to just switch everything up just for their pals on the left?
Yeah, because I've noticed when I watch any video that's by ABC, NBC, MSNBC,
come on,
I mean MS-13,
He said MS-13?
Right.
MS-13.
Right. Any video by them that is reporting something about Biden and their, of course, how their slanted narrative, the dislike proportion to the like is literally like 300%.
A video from MS-13 would not be publicized on television. So that's out of
NBC,
unless they were denouncing Donald Trump.
Exactly. Good point.
Yeah, they're like
it would not be rated PG. Okay?
No,
and the sad thing is we're not stupid.
No.
I was a volunteer instructor for the Boy Scouts and also for a seminary Bible school program that we had at one of the local organizations. And a lot of the older boomers, it's really funny because it's old boomers that run all of these media outfits. They were constantly developing these programs and these approaches to like measuring attendance and things like that approach the children as if they were stupid. And I always said, you need to approach them as if they are smart because kids are actually smart. And this ruffled their feathers, but it's true because people recognize if YouTube algorithms are getting changed, just as Lucas said, to disproportionately advantage Democrats. And then they're going to expect us to take the audit of the Arizona voting ballot system seriously after having censored any kind of counterpoints or concerns against it. Kick, you had something to say about this, my man.
Well, I mean, not just I have something to say about it, but this is very important. I mean, this is huge because we all remember during the election where we went to bed and there was key states, swing states. The guy who was what, 5 or 6 maybe?
Yeah. Yes,
4 or 5 or 6 around that number that were pro-Trump. He was leading.
Yeah.
He was leading.
He got it.
We go to sleep. We wake up the next morning.
What kind of future are we in?
Biden is leading those key states, and one of them is Arizona, like Georgia and the rest of them. And with this audit, they're trying to do a forensic audit to see if there was voter fraud. Now, if there is voter fraud and you can prove it in one specific county or one specific state, right? Then help me out because I always say the wrong word.
That's the precedent.
Thank you. That I didn't want to be butchered on live air. So thank you, Hulk, for doing that. Because I did it 3 times and he corrected me every 3rd time. So thank you for saying it for me. For other states that are in the same predicament to do the same audit. So this is very big. And it's so big to a point where even Trump is now saying, hey, we need, National Guard for security to make sure that this count is correct. So all eyes are on Arizona right now. So big props to Arizona, the state of Arizona actually doing their thing.
And hopefully more states will follow suit because we know that there's more states than Arizona.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, Georgia's a big one, a big one.
It's kind of crazy because, I mean, this does set the precedent. This really does. And I can only imagine the domino effect this may have. And what does this mean if it comes to find out that I guess we are conspiracy theorists after all?
Well,
because we've been people told us to just shut up and accept it.
Exactly.
More people wanted him out than in. But wait. I gotta say this. I would be remiss. I don't think I've ever said this on the show, but I have to say it.
Oh, I'm bracing for impact.
But literally, it hit me like a spiritual message directly from God, right? This had to happen. President Donald Trump temporarily had to be removed from office because had he stayed in office like the American people voted him to stay in, the onslaught would have doubled, tripled. The coronavirus would have been blamed on him. The lockdowns would have continued. It would have been more. So we had to see, we needed a break.
That's a good point.
The world had to see just how corrupt
and we had to see what a President supposedly Biden,
thank you,
presidency would look like.
And darn it, President Trump needed a break. Go enjoy your family. Man, go out, take a vacation.
Brother. Go golfing.
So before we end the show, I do have to put your evangelical opinion of Donald Trump's loss in the Electoral College.
This is biblical.
I'll give you a challenge here.
Right now, baby.
If you believe that his loss was a blessing, that also means that Joe Biden's donkey brains and forgetfulness and takeover of Kamala Harris is a blessing as well. I don't know about
it had to be the worst of the worst, though. It had to be the worst of the worst. Come on. Now, they may have pulled it off if you got somebody competent in there. Somebody like a Warren. They would have celebrated her first woman presidency.
Warren, exactly.
But to get a dementia patient, it had to be the worst of the worst.
Absolutely.
So we can see just how crazy this all is.
It is indeed crazy. Lord have mercy.
And really fast, I mean, I don't want to make jokings of like killings and stuff. You know, what happened to that girl was like crazy.
Yeah.
But this is a message to black people. You know, you can't just do these crimes and think that
expect to do
you're
the time.
To get another George Floyd come up.
Yeah.
Or expecting to like not get shot. But you know what BLM say, right? If you do that,
then you ain't black.
You ain't black.
And you ain't black.